Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. I'm outside Old Trafford. Chelsea have just lost 2-1 to Man United. And to be quite honest, that is the worst performance of the season. Probably one of, if not the worst Chelsea game I've ever been to. The performance from minute 1 to minute 90 was absolutely horrendous. Every single player to a man was awful. I mean, Cole Palmer got the goal. He was probably the one that perhaps looked like making things happen the most, but that would be being kind. Yeah, it's one of those where you come here feeling a little bit confident. 10 years now turned into 11 years with no win. This is the frustrating thing with this team, is that, you know, every time you think you've turned a corner, you then come crashing back down to earth. And I know you're going to get that with a young team, with inexperience, with inconsistency, but at the same time, you know, that's no excuse to not turn up and do the basics tonight. And everything was wrong. We were second in 50-50s. We were losing the midfield battle. We were giving the ball away. Passing out from the back was atrocious. Distribution from Sanchez was awful as well. And to be perfectly honest, we were lucky just to get out of this game with a 2-1 defeat. We should have lost 4-5, 6-1 in that game. United had so many chances. Sanchez made a few decent saves, saved the Bruno penalty, a good double stop from McTominay as well. I mean, like, today there was just nothing went right. There were no positives. The only positive was the fact that we lost 2-1, and it was, the scoreline was closer than the game actually itself suggests. But yeah, every time there's a lot more questions to ask, you know. Why do we have performances where every single player is absolutely awful? The whole team don't turn up. The whole team didn't turn up against Newcastle. Whole team didn't turn up again tonight. You're going to get, you know, one or two that aren't at a top level each week, but to have every single player again absolutely awful. There was no fight. There was no desire. Second best at everything, as I said. Playing out from the back was awful. You know, we can't string passes together. We're playing it. We're putting it out of play. We're giving the ball away. Sanchez, you know, made some good saves, but his distribution once again was absolutely dreadful. I mean, I don't know what else we can do. I mean, like, there's no positives at all tonight. Defensively, not good. Another 2 goals conceded. That's 4 goals conceded against City, 4 against Newcastle, 2 against Brighton, another 2 tonight. You know, it just, like, we're leaking goals, and like, when you're a bit blunt at the other end of the pitch and you're leaking at the back, like, that's asking for trouble. And you know, the manager's got a lot of questions to answer now. You know, we turned up today, and you know, I thought we could maybe do something, get a result, but you know, we were just embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. You know, we let McTominay score twice. We got dominated in the midfield. I honestly thought, you know, Enzo and Caicedo would win that midfield battle. I've been saying, you know, that United's midfield has been quite easy to play through this season. You know, Amrabat's not been great. He was good tonight. McTominay and Bruno, it's been easy to play for. It's not a good midfield, and yet we made it look like a brilliant midfield, and our expensively assembled midfield got absolutely dominated. It looked like a schoolboy midfield out there. We were terrible. Going forward, we weren't great either. Yes, the move for the goal was nice. The pass from Mudryk, the finish from Palmer was good. That's pretty much the only good thing that we did in the match. And it's nights like this where you come up here, you make the journey from London, it's long, it's a midweek game, it's a late finish, we're out here like 11:30 or whatever, still doing these things, and you get a performance like that, and it just makes you question, like, what are we doing at the moment? Am I losing belief in the project? Do we feel this is going to work? Like, just a lot of questions start going through your mind. Like, you're not sure, you know, what direction the club's going in. You just don't know what you're going to get from this team. You really don't. Like, one week, you know, you get a great performance. The next week, you get an absolute horror show. And then, you know, you've got no idea what you're going to get on Sunday. I just think defensively we were awful today. Midfield was awful. And the front line was awful. Sterling, dreadful today. Mudryk, not much better. Jackson, crap. Broya didn't really offer much when he came on. Reece James was awful when he came on. Like, the manager has to take some responsibility here. What was the game plan today? What were the tactics? And why did we not implement the game plan whatsoever in any single minute of the game? Did we understand what was asked of us before the game? You know, what was going on? Unless you can point to a lack of leadership. But a lack of leadership is not an excuse for not doing the basics, not turning up and having a go, not being able to string a few passes together. And we couldn't do that. You know, United have been in turmoil. They look, despite, you know, the fact they've been grinding results, they've been playing really poorly, and yet we turned up and made them look unbelievable. And you know, I just don't know where we go from here. You know, we've got a game against Everton on Sunday, and you just think, well, what on earth are we going to get from there? You know, they're going to be up for it, a 10-point deduction. Dyche's got on playing half decent. You know, that's going to be a tough game as well. We haven't got the best record there. What's really going to change between now and then? from this Chelsea side. We better have the fucking team in tomorrow training, putting this right. We can't be giving them days off and all this and that. We need to get back to work. We need to fix up seriously, because that was an embarrassing performance tonight. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm surprised that Cucurella was subbed at half-time. I actually thought he was decent in the first half. The Colwell experiment at left back has got to stop. We have got to stop doing that. He gets exposed so easily. Doesn't defend the wide spaces well. One-on-one, wingers just beat him for fun. It's not working there. He tries to defend like a centre-back when he's out there, and it just isn't working. That for me needs to end. It's great. It was great to see him as captain tonight. Another 26 wearing the armband, but ultimately I don't think he was great either. And the left-back experiment needs to stop. Yeah, it was just back to square one again. Yes, did we miss Conor Gallagher's day? Potentially, yeah, the pressing from the front would have been better. There would have been a lot more energy in that midfield, which might have helped us, but I don't necessarily know if that would have made the game any different for us. And yeah, just a real tough one today, a real tough one. It's one that makes you lose faith in the project a little bit, makes you lose faith in what we're doing. It makes you think, are these players good enough? What we're doing on the training pitch? Does the manager really know how to get more out of these guys? It's just a lot of questions as always, and it's just really, really disappointing and frustrating. But yeah, for me, worst of the season, worst Chelsea game I've ever been to, and Pochettino has got a lot of questions to answer. And we go on to Sunday against Everton. Hopefully we can respond. We have to respond. We got a response from Newcastle against Brighton. We need a response from this game. But yeah, I've got to say, I'm not feeling confident, and it's a long journey back to London after that shit show up the Chelsea.